Well, thank you for coming. And I must say that I cannot speak very clearly English for two reasons. One, because I cannot, not English. And second, because it's not the best time in my life. So I prepare a few words just to resume some of the things and that I felt with Lynn, and I am looking at the screen. The life of a person can be an endless well. The deeper it is, the more resources it contains to develop life in its fullest. To enjoy with sensitivity what nature and human wit has been able to deploy. But sensitivity is a double-edged sword. It provides us with joy, but also makes us suffer the riots of nature and the wish to amend the gross abuses of human activity. In Lynn's well, there was such variety of things that she didn't have a break since she was a precocious, sensitive, and bossy, she would add, girl at 13. I met her 30 years after, when she was 43, and had achieved almost all goals she could have as a scientist. On the personal side, she was a brave mother of 4 and also a fierce divorcee of 2. In March 1983, she was elected a member of the National Academy of Science, the biggest prize that a scientist can receive in his life or her life. In June, she received, or I received another prize. We met for the first time. And we were in love, literally, since the first day that we met. And I had the joy of sharing the remaining 30 short years with her life. Allow me to escape the long path from then to now, from Barcelona to Alexandria, in both sides of the Mediterranean, from Stockholm to South Africa, following the same meridian, from Cuba to Galapagos, across both sides of the oceans surrounding Americas, teaching, sampling, enjoying life, love, and culture. We shared not only our personal life as compañeros, but also our professional careers. Lynn spoke fluent Spanish. She was at home in Spain, also in Mexico, also in Latin America, but especially in Spain, and especially in Catalonia. She liked the words of George Orwell that we read together in Homage to Catalonia. George Orwell wrote, "But I would sooner be a foreigner in Spain than in most countries." And he added, "How easy it is to make friends in Spain." Lynn not only was actually always teaching, she was always learning. When she spent a sabbatical in Barcelona, just 1 year after we were together, she was captured by the emergent science of microbial ecology, just starting. Our babbling ecological works were given by Lynn a new dimension and led them, the works, years after, into the microbiology textbooks. We together tried to redefine ecology as the science of cooperation. You can go to the dictionary with this new definition. How could it not be so after the astonishing spectacle during the fieldwork days in Banyoles, a lake near Barcelona, with anaerobic bacteria emerging to the surface and staining the water purple, deep purple, as it was a biblical scene, of observing the first bacteria able to enter and devour the guts of another bacteria, or the teaching courses in the Ebro Delta that Steve can testify they were very active, studying the interesting microbial mats that fascinate everybody, or discovering the first giant spirochete able to resist desiccation which for us microbiologists, card-carrying microbiologists, she accused me all the time, we couldn't believe, because the spirochetes are slender, weak, they disappear very quickly. Those spirochetes resisted years of desiccation. And Lynn proclaimed it the Catalan spirochete. What a time of scientific and personal vitality. Seminars, trips, conferences, workshops, exchange of researchers and students. Mine going to her universities, BU and UMass. Hers going to mine, Autonomous University and University of Barcelona. We move synchronically. I think, by the way, that the best thing that happened to Lynn, besides knowing me and having so many children and loving children, is to come to Amherst for 3 reasons. She was offered several universities, and I was discussing, and she was very well. Well, I not prepared this. When she tell John Silver, the boss of BU, some of them you know, he offered, well, he insisted that she couldn't went out from BU. She rejected, saying, I am going there. So, Lynn, take $100,000 and stay here. No. Well, tell $100,000, stay 1 year and do as you want. She stayed 1 year, she spent the $100,000 and she left. Amherst, what a small Grand Land university, a public university. I am sorry for some of you that you are in private university. I always study in a public school. I always work in public universities, and I will devote my whole life, the few years that I can resist living, as Lynn resisted for the public service of the society. She was anti-system. I don't know anti-system either, but she wanted society, she wanted democracy, she wanted the freedom of countries. She was very right coming to Amherst because she found a nice university, and afterwards a nice department, geosciences, in which she loved being in geoscience department. She loved also being with Steve, with Rai, with Mark now, but she bought, very cheap by the way, in a small house. When some of the 8 people that come from Barcelona saw Lynn's house yesterday, so how big is it? Well, you don't know houses in Brookline, you don't know the houses in the hill. The houses are here they have many, many rooms. Lynn has a very small house, cute, made by an architect. It was also a monument, but was located in the premises of the Dickinson, of the Evergreens. And this content she read before, the poetry indeed, by Emily Dickinson, but just once started to memorize. And she had many, many, many sessions in which she was mentioning and saying by heart the poems she identified by this. By the way, she went, I don't know this, when she was an adolescent, 13, she was studying Spanish. And she started with Yerma, which is a very difficult play work by Federico García Lorca. I had the book. In the book, when the words are usual, niña, girl, but when they say something like choza, which is not easy, with her handwriting is putting hot. It's all how Lynn, when she was Lynn Petra Alexander, was learning Spanish, it's everything. And by the way, I must confess that Lynn and I are the authors. I love Jean Garfield was a very good friend of her, and I found for other reasons last Sunday. And he sent to me the complete list of the works by Lynn and the complete list of people citing. Well, she has a modest 250 or something like that, People citing, important cited by her are 6,000. By the way, going back, one of the papers written by Lynn and I it has a co-author, Garcia Lorca F., because it's the translation of the unfaithful wife. And for these reasons, now I must correct this mistake. Some of the students of Jane Garfield copy this and go, well, Garcia Lorca, Margulis, and Guerrero. We are honored to be to have this co-author. A few days ago, we had a celebration at the Institute for Catalan Studies, the Catalan Academy, on occasion of the International Women's Day. We celebrate this in Europe. This means that we need to celebrate Women's Day. There, 15 women that had known Lynn in Spain, plus Maggie Odile, who is also present, remember different aspects of the rich personality of Lynn as a scientist, as a naturalist, as a microbial ecologist. His influence in secondary education in Spain, Montse Valmichana here, as the university professor. Many other things will be said now, but other things will be said tomorrow. I doubt that even talking together the contribution of all the speakers, we can grasp the whole personality of this woman with whom we and her family, her sisters, everybody share love, hours of talk, culture, science, and in my case, it's a special kind of human love. This event will offer the testimony of many people who knew Lynn, who worked or lived with her for some time, and who have come here together to share the memories of their interactions, her cooperation with this remarkable individual. Rather than reverences and mythification, the speakers will highlight fragments of her scientific work and will explore various aspects of her forceful and spirited personality, a woman who left her imprint in our understanding of evolution, of life on Earth, and of the meaning of cooperation for the progress of life, science, and society, and put me something in the heart that I can never forget. A las aladas almas de las rosas, de los almendros, de nata te requiero, que tenemos que hablar de muchas cosas, compañera del alma, compañera. Thank you very much.